From the Middle is proud to be a founding member of Odd Pods Media. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 318 of From the Middle, our first episode in the Lord's year 2026. Three middle-class guys just hanging out, talking about our holiday weeks, Christmas and New Year's with our families. Dylan had a fun emphasis on the word fun time with his family. Corey finally learned a game that he's been struggling so hard and has found a little bit of success. And I myself had some sweet meatballs. We also streamed some things, spent some good quality time with our families, and we talk about all of that in this episode as we look forward to this new year. We hope that you are having a happy new year and sticking to all those New Year's resolutions. We'll talk more about that in this episode. Listen in.
Oh, for the love.
Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
So anyway, have you guys ever had a poop so big that your back felt better?
Here we are, 2026.
Hi, guys.
Let's go.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Clarifying question. Because of the force required to get it out, like you strained your back or stretched your back in an effort to see it through, or
I don't know what the context is, and it's probably pure coincidence, but I was like, my back was hurting. Like, we've been getting into whatever. My back was hurting. And it was, if it was hurting at about a 7 or so, I like had to go to the bathroom, and I went to the bathroom. And then when I was done and went and sat back down on the couch where my family was watching Home Alone, I think, I was probably at like a 3 at that point. And I thought to myself, I don't know if this is, what the physiology there is, if this is possible that like I pooped so good that my back felt better. Not sure.
Or
Not
your
sure
couch,
the thing.
or your couch doesn't have enough lumbar support.
It could be that too. So the toilet has better lumbar support.
Oh, Happy New Year, boys.
Happy New Year.
Our loyal listeners have missed this highbrow quality conversation. I know. It is good to see you guys. It is good to be back with you, Middlers. What are we doing? Are we going to do like a little holiday recap?
I think we should. Yeah.
It feels appropriate. No?
Yeah, we left everybody hanging for a couple of weeks there, which, I mean, I don't think we've ever done Christmas and New Year's podcasts, have we?
We've done little like, hey, everybody, enjoy your family. We're off this week. This time we just went off the grid.
We just...
Yeah, just gone. Although I did telegraph it with the episode that dropped
before that,
the week before. And I said, hey, we may not do a Christmas episode. We'll let you know. And then we didn't do that. We'll let you know part. Last minute Christmas shopping got the better of us, folks.
Well,
we're sorry, but we also know you understand.
Yeah. No, it was a good holiday. How'd you guys, Dylan? But what? Let's recap your time with Ben and the family. And
yeah, it was really nice. I think in a weird way, we had talked a couple episodes back about having gone to Disney World the first week of December, so right after Thanksgiving. And I think in some way it almost, I don't want to say it had nothing to do with enjoying Christmas less, but it almost felt like we had done Christmas, like going to do that trip and all the decorations and the Christmas trees and listening to Christmas music while we're there. It kind of felt like we had kind of done it. So it wasn't a anti-actual Christmas kind of feeling. It was just like everything else felt like a bonus on top of that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just celebrating more. You know, sometimes in the past, I would get through the holiday season. I'm like, I almost feel like I didn't do anything Christmassy. It's like I got a couple movies in and then went and did the Christmas Day stuff, and then it kind of is over, or you do a couple things. So it was just everything else just felt like a bonus on that, which was great. The 2 weeks off Finn had with school, it was great to sleep in the days that you could sleep in as a parent. It's fun to have her home. It's fun to sleep in. She was excited about a lot of her gifts. No, we didn't do a lot because of the trip, but what she did get, she was excited about. Saw lots of people. I know Corey and I both had several days of visiting folks. I think we had like 6 days in a row of plans and visiting with people and events, and so um, it was a lot of fun. I've said this jokingly before at work, and I don't believe this is definitively true, but I say it kind of jokingly, and I'll see if you agree. Vacations and holidays can be fun or they can be relaxing, but they can't be both. And we had a lot of fun. I'll put it that way. So yeah, so we had a very fun Christmas, which was great. And I'm always excited about all the foods that you'd expect to be eating in there, and Christmas music and movies and things that we've talked about many, many times. So yeah, it was really great.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Kendall, how about you, brother?
Oh man, I love a good Christmas
Yeah.
and all the lead up to it and the post stuff after it. It was good. It was good. It was relaxing on some days and fun on other days. Um, but the big thing I think for this season that was really cool um, was the fact that we started over the summer with short trips, leaving the kids alone, right at home, and they've gotten comfortable with that. We've gotten comfortable with that. And so Amy and I like had the opportunity to like do Christmas shopping together and just like random trips to Costco and stuff like that, which has been really cool. So I think it was an enhanced Christmas season and a little bit novel. For that reason, got to spend more time with her in the evenings, which was really cool. Um, and Christmas Eve was great. Spent the night, not all night, but the evening with my parents. They always do a thing where Christmas Eve dinner, it's been this way since I was a kid, is like all the Christmas cookies and baked goods and things. And that's what that is. And it was always after church, come home, let's break out the cookies and stuff. Um, and I like cocktail meatballs and stuff, but she would make that too. And so we did that. And then Christmas Day was great. Got up early in the morning, told the kids they could wake us up at 6 o'clock. And so we did that. Yeah, and it was fun. It was good. And spent more time with the parents and then my sister and brother-in-law and their kid, which was fun. And then New Year's, we went to a friend's barn party until 9 o'clock because we went there last year as well, and it was a lot of fun. But we stayed a little bit too late. By the time we got home, the kids were tired, and we didn't have much time before the ball dropped and that kind of thing, in our own basement. And so everybody wanted to have more of that this year, and so we left the barn at 9 o'clock. We had a hard stop there. Might have even been 8:30, and then we went and partied in our basement with the kids and did it that way. And it was good. It was sweet. I enjoyed the time. I like it when they're home. I love their Christmas break. They're back to school now, which is a bummer, but man, it was good. Felt good. I like it.
Follow-up questions.
Yeah.
One is about meatballs, but first,
Yeah.
what cookie are you most excited to see on the trays of cookies?
Oh man. Of all of the fancy cookies and things that I've had over the years, my favorite is still just a chocolate chip. That's what I would grab if it was among all of the rest of the cookies, which is kind of a really boring answer. But I love a good peppermint bark and Chex Mix, which isn't a cookie, but it's still a Christmassy snack in our house. there was one thing that my wife made this year differently. What was it? Oh, it was so a lot of people do, and what I'm familiar with is people take like the thick, like 6-inch long pretzel rods and like half dip them in chocolate kind of thing, which is okay. But my wife did like they have the little circle, bite-sized circle pretzel things. I think they call them wreaths or something like that this year, but they're circular pretzels. And you take those and you put a Hershey Kiss on top of it. So now the Hershey Kiss like melts down in it and over it a little bit. And then you can put like a little treat on top of it, like an M&M or Reese's Pieces or something like that. You just squash that down in the middle. And that ratio of chocolate to pretzel is far better. And so I loved those things.
Yeah. I like Dylan's nodding and smiling when I know full well he hates pretzels.
Oh, really?
I was just thinking about other cookies I'd rather have, but
that's right up my alley, Kendall. I love pretzel and chocolate, pretzel and peanut butter. I'm with you, brother.
It was great.
That's awesome.
Second question about the meatballs. Very important. I'm very curious about the meatballs. What kind of sauce is your family doing on the meatballs? Is it a pot of marinara meatballs or is it something?
No. So we call them cocktail meatballs. I don't know what else they might be called, but it's kind of like a sweet and sourish kind of sauce. It's literally made with like chili sauce and grape jam, melted all together with meatballs.
Perfect. Okay. I remember eating something like that growing up. And then I Googled it, like, what are the popular meatballs sauces? And I'm not going to discriminate against any of the meatballs. You know what I mean? Like, I see them at a party, I'm putting them on my plate no matter what sauce is on them. But it did bring up a short list. And one of them says grape jelly chili sauce. Yeah. A retro classic appetizer combination where grape jelly and chili sauce are simmered together to create a simple, sweet, and tangy glaze.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Yep.
I've seen Sweet Baby Ray's and grape jelly, and then some pineapple chunks thrown in.
Ooh.
So some variation of that. Yeah, a little savory, a little sweet.
Yeah, the popular options that came up were classic marinara tomato, Swedish meatball sauce, barbecue sauce, sweet and sour sauce, grape jelly chili, mushroom gravy, creamy Parmesan Alfredo, and teriyaki. Those were the most popular.
I would take all of them.
Literally a sampler of that, I'd be set.
Absolutely.
For the day. You know what I mean?
Carrie did that one night. She's like, I'm making meatballs. Who wants what sauces? So she did one in like an Alfredo white sauce, one in like just regular buffalo sauce, which I love. Ooh, and then one barbecue, and then like one like sweet chili one. So it was like same process for the meatballs, just simmer them in 4 different sauces and everybody gets a little.
Yeah, dump a different bottle of something on them, you know?
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your time, Kendall. I know Christmas is big for you. Yeah, for me, I'll just focus on the things that were different this year. Because, we've been doing this for a handful of years now, and we kind of have a lot of rituals that we've probably already shared. But I was kind of done with work in like the second week in November. and why that made this season different was because I didn't like come off the road, have a couple of days, and then go to 5 family Christmases.
Yeah.
It was really nice to have like this long, slow lead up into the holiday break, and Lily coming home from college, and just like the long, slow days of just kind of like doing whatever, a little shopping here, a little Christmas movie there, a little baking Christmas cookies there. Like, it was really nice to have, and I know that's uncommon. So I just took full advantage. And 25 was difficult for us. We've shared, there was a handful of episodes back where we kind of got into some of the things that have gone on this year. And so, right, wrong, or indifferent, I was like, I'm just coasting. I'm just coasting into the end of the year this year, and I'm not going to feel one bit bad for just sort of like truly resting and doing not much of anything and just like putting the year behind me in a lot of ways. And so I did that. Some things that stood out was that I finally learned euchre. We've joked that it's like next to impossible to teach me euchre. Multiple people have tried and failed. I finally learned. So now Chloe, Case, Sherry, and I like to play euchre together. It's really funny. I don't quite yet understand the game beneath the game or the card counting and trying to figure out like, oh, if he played that, then that means he doesn't have this part yet. But like, I know what to play next, and for the most part, with Dylan has a story. Go ahead.
No, you tell the story.
No, you'll do much better because you understand the game better.
Well, it's not about recalling specifics of the game, but I thought you had told me not long ago, because this is a very recent update. And lots of people, as it turns out, don't know what euchre is. So it's kind of, if you are unfamiliar, it's kind of like hearts. But instead of hearts being the strong suit every time, it can change hand to hand. And so if you're familiar with hearts, there's your analogy. But it's apparently a very Midwesterny thing. And so, great game. You should learn it. Go download a free app, learn how to play. Anyways, you had told me recently that you would learn how to play. I was very excited. We were at Christmas at our mother's house. Extended family was there. Somebody brought up playing euchre. I'm excited. I could sit and play euchre at a card table with some snacks and drinks and have done it for hours and hours and hours and hours, and I would not get tired of it. And so it was brought up to play. It was me, you, Corey, your wife, Sherry, and a cousin. And it seemed, this is my interpretation of how things went. They seemed to pair off, Sherry and the cousin, pretty quickly because they didn't want to be on your team.
Right, because I divulged I'm new to the game. And then we learned that the cousin has played since he was like 11 or 12 years old. Yeah. At tables with his grandpa and his grandpa's friends. Like he came up learning from 2 generations above him.
Did you get a sense that they paired off pretty quickly so that did you get that sense too?
Yeah, but it was like, let's see what Corey and Dylan do.
In a sweet way.
Dylan was willing to take the handicap.
So anyways, so we were having a very nice game. You did a very good job. I maybe gave you a tip 1 or 2 times. I think maybe.
Yeah.
Especially as we neared the end, because we got down by 4 or 5 points, I think, at one point. So this is kind of like okay, they only need a couple more points. And we got near the end, and one of those tips I gave you was, if anybody that's played before, it's like, if you can call it, we don't want to let them call it. So if you can call it, just do it. And not only did we put up a fight, we came back to win. Yeah. The first game we had ever played together as brothers, we won. And it was a pretty epic comeback. There was no like going alone and got 4 points to sweep. It was just nickel and dimed it down the field and scraped out that, potato bowl victory. You know what I mean? And
even the missteps were not like, to be fair, we're not like errors. They were like, hey, just like generally you want to try to not do that. Like,
yeah. Like you called it one time and didn't have much trump and you like led your jack. And I'm like, hey, maybe if you're unsure about calling it, maybe don't lead with the strongest card if you're not feeling. Yeah. It was like a couple little tips, but you did great.
It was fun.
So, it was a really great comeback victory. And I think we did awesome. So.
Yeah, so that was fun, learning euchre, and these are all just the days leading up to Christmas. And then also leading up to Christmas, huge shout out to Jonathan from Grab 'em in the Brisket. So he had heard about my son Case's Christmas list, which contained hugs and Lucky Charms. And he shipped a box of the hugs drinks as well as a box of the individual container bowls of Lucky Charms to Case Man. And so then I thought, wait a minute. In the episode where we talked about foods from our childhood that we would bring back, we talked about hugs, the drinks. But then I talked about Case's Christmas list, which had hugs on it. Did you guys, when I told Case's Christmas list story, think that he meant the drinks? Or did you think he meant, I just want actual embraces from my family members?
No, we talked about it being the drinks. I made a joke about it being like an actual hug.
Right.
Like a desperate plea for a hug from his dad. But I think we understood that it was the drinks.
Dylan, what did you think?
I don't even remember. This was ages ago.
On his list, he meant embraces.
Wow. I thought drinks. I was thinking drinks the whole time.
He wanted he wanted. I don't think he's ever had the drinks outside of maybe like a soccer game where somebody's mom packed brown paper bag snacks of. So,
Yeah. Okay.
but anyway, but we did talk about the we did talk about the drink. So I don't know what this says about our family, but it definitely says about Jonathan that he is a loyal listener and middler, and he is very sweet because he sent both to our house, and I'll post pictures on our From the Middle for the Middlers Facebook group, which you should join if you're not already a part of that. So that was really adorable and fun.
Well, well, now that in overthinking fashion, I realize now how crude my joke was, because I thought we were talking about drinks. And so I was like, I forget what I said. Something like, yeah, maybe next year, kid.
Yeah, once you learn to do something manly that I had not successfully done. Yeah, it was the joke.
It was. Had I
Oh, kill a deer. Once you kill a deer,
kill your first deer and you'll get a hug.
Yeah. So he did just mean embraces, which was my joke, that he just wants hugs and food for Christmas. So
follow-up question: does he have a favorite flavor of the drink now? Does he even eat it?
I think it was him or maybe it was Chloe who goes, "These are really chemically."
In my day, that's how all the food tasted.
Yeah, that's how you know it's good. So I don't even think that they've had all the flavors yet. I will let you all know. You guys know a fun tradition that we have done in the past is for each kid, we get 4 main gifts that fall under the categories of something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. This year, because they kind of all had the books series or books that they enjoy, we decided to do something you want, something you need, something to wear, question mark, which became like a fun catch-all category for each kid. So we did that. The reason I like that is we come up with a symbol or an icon for each category, and then different colors mean different things, but they don't know. They used to think it was the paper, like each kid had their own designated wrapping paper.
Yeah.
But by doing it this way, they don't know which gifts to sort of like size up. So you can set the gifts out early. You don't have to do it all Christmas Eve. You can set them out early and have a few, add 2 or 3 here and there each day. And they don't really know which ones are theirs because they don't know the color coding or the symbol coding. So that was kind of fun. I just had so much fun this year watching them open their gifts, and each kid had one gift that I was really stoked about. And so we stay home all day Christmas Day. We refuse to go anywhere else. We open our doors to anyone that wants to join us from the family, but we're like, we're not going anywhere. Because when Lily was born, our firstborn child, we went to like 3 Christmases in one day, and that was just too much. We still did 4 Christmases in 4 days, like the Vince Vaughn movie. But it was nice. And again, going back to what I led with, because there was such a long break coming into the holidays, even that 4 days of back-to-backness wasn't that big of a deal because we had prepped for it. Sherry had done all the cooking for it, and I had done most of the gift wrapping. She had done all the purchasing. And so we like knew it was coming, and we were like determined to just make the most of each Christmas. And I just made it a personal mission for each gathering with family. Like, I'm going to take 10 to 15 minutes with each person and have like really good quality time catching up with everybody. So it was really beautiful. New Year's was good. And then my last thing is something that Sharon and I did today. So this is the 6th as of recording. We've done this in previous years. I'm curious what you guys do. Sometimes we do it in the last couple days of the year. Sometimes we do it in the first week of the year. We just do like a general, it's not like super scripted or formulaic, but it's just like a general, like, what are our family goals for the year? What are your personal goals for the year? How might I help? Financial goals. But because I'm starting a freelance business for the first calendar year, starting, Jan 1, it seems like a really good idea to sort of align on sort of what we hope to achieve with that, with her career, what she wants to do, how she might come alongside and help the freelance business. Like, spiritual goals or physical goals. Do you guys do any like form of that with your spouses or families? And if so, like how do you facilitate that conversation?
Hmm. We had a couple of conversations with the kids, like in the car or whatever, about the idea of New Year's resolutions, right? And um, part of that conversation was well, let's try to think of some goals that you might have
Mm-hmm.
for yourself, and then mapping them out. And then Lydia, who is, I mean, I love her to death. She loves systems and putting together a plan or whatever. So I shared with her the concept of SMART goals, right? And
Nice.
she ate that up. And so I wrote it out. So she had like five different goals that she wanted to achieve, and she put them on a piece of paper. And then like I showed her, look, SMART after each one, told her what they mean, and walked her through filling out the form for each and every
Nice.
one of those things. It
Nice.
was really cool. A lot of ours ended up being like health related, and so we did like talk to them about how we can help you um with that sort of thing. Because I mean, Amy and I started lifting, I don't remember when it was, early summer, in the spring sometime last year I started lifting again. And then and have, other than surgery and recovery, haven't stopped. And
Good
then
for
for
you,
Black
man.
Friday we got a hold of a rower, and I've been doing that ever since as well.
Let's go.
And so like for me and Amy, like we're heading into the new year already doing the thing that we've promised ourselves in years past that we were going to do. We're like
Mhm.
already doing it.
Yeah.
But then we're like, man, we've got, and I talked to the kids about like some things. Like there's a story that I just share with them every once in a while. Like me growing up, I remember the moment when I was like a late teenager, maybe early 20s, watching professional billiard players, pool players, and even like the trick shot guys and trick competitions, because they used to show that stuff on ESPN. Maybe they still do. And I was like, I grew up with a full size slate top pool table in my basement. I literally had everything I needed to be one of those guys. And didn't I, it's not like I felt regret, but it was just that realization that like I had all the tools.
Mm.
They were there for me.
Mm-hmm.
I could have started when I was 3 and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. And so I kind of had that explanation with them that like we've put together a good gym in our basement. Like we've got quite a bit of equipment. And you name the exercise, we can figure out with what we have how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when it comes to weightlifting and a couple different ways to do cardio and that kind of thing. And so I was like, guys, I mean, let's start these habits now.
Mm-hmm.
And so they all had some kind of health related things. And so we talked about and kind of put together a plan of what that might look like for each of them.
That's awesome.
So it was kind of nonchalant, with the exception of Lydia. She really embraces the whole like, let's map this out.
Yeah.
But with the boys, it's just I row in the evenings, I lift in the mornings. And so when I go down to row, the boys go down and they lift when
Mhm.
I'm rowing. And that way, like I'm there watching them, making sure that they're safe and not
Yeah.
doing things in a way where they're going to hurt their back or whatever else.
And if they do, they could just get a good poop in.
Exactly.
Well, I love what you're saying, because that's where I think it gets interesting. And I think so many people just don't ever have the conversations. And so your spouse or family members might not be aware of your goals, and they don't necessarily need to be. But there might also be really interesting areas of crossover where your goal and somebody else's goal could marry up. Like
Mhm.
I have one of getting more time in nature. I find time in creation and nature to be so, it recharges me, and I don't do it as much as I should. And I try with camping and fishing and hunting to get that time in. But Sherry's like, I want to find a type of exercise that we can do together. You like different types of exercises than I do. I like different types than you do. But what if we could find one that we could do together? And I was like, wait a minute. What if we hiked? And then I'd be ticking the time in nature box, and we'd be ticking your let's find an exercise we could do together box. And so I just think like just sitting down and talking about it, and it's really her, reminding us that we need to do it. And it's inspired by a mutual friend of Dylan and I's, Sean Hood. And I know he and Molly go out for like a nice dinner toward the end of the year or toward the beginning of the year. And they like sort of map out. And I think he's a little more process driven about it. From what I've gathered, he's posted about it a few times, but I just love that idea. So, yeah, I was just curious. Dylan, how about you, man? Here's a comedic answer in 3, 2.
We've mapped out everything with really thorough, smart goal. No, this is the thing about not being remotely thoughtful. My New Year's is so much easier than yours. I just go,
Yeah.
hey, it's midnight. It's 2026. Cool, let's go to bed. And then 2026 starts. And that's the end of it. No, I don't. I think there's probably some level of those conversations happening throughout the year.
Yeah.
Like probably most normal people do, but I don't know that we ever have drawn an easy line for ourselves because of New Year's. But it's probably a good time, and I don't think like some people get hung up on like there's no magic to New Year's. You can do it anytime. Sure, that's always true. But sometimes it's just easier. Everyone else is already talking about things and things are in the news and there's extra articles from Men's Health or Women's Health or whatever. And so like sometimes the prompts are out there in the world and
Yeah, that's a good point.
and it facilitates it. It's the day isn't necessarily meaningful, but the fact that other people are kind of doing things might be enough. And to me, it always seems like a lot of people do health and food related things, which I'm sure I've done some version of in the past. And it's like that can also be a little easier because all the holidays with the most food are over for a while. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like sometimes that is an easy place to start because you're not going to have 60 days worth of candy and eating events spread out. So, or maybe less, but you get the point. So I think people doing whatever works for them makes sense, but it's always good to feel nudged by other people that are being more thoughtful at a given thing than I am, which is almost every time. So that part of it's good, just to hear what other people are up to and doing.
I think something about throwing out the old calendar, flipping to the new year, like something just feels like a really good line in the sand for some. But I like what you said about it's in the magazines, it's on the TV, like it's just in the conversation. So,
Mhm.
like, it feels like an apropos time. Hey, Middlers, you could make a goal to listen to this next podcast, friends of ours in the Odd Pods Media Network.
Greetings, fellow nerds. It's Garrett, your host of The Nodak Nerd, part of Odd Pods Media, the podcast where we explore the vast realms of geekdom. From the latest superhero flicks to retro video games and everything in between, we've got you covered. Join me for insightful reviews, hilarious discussions, and maybe even a few heated debates. Find The Nodak Nerd wherever you listen to podcasts. Let's get nerdy.
So, did you guys watch anything fun over break? I'm so excited to talk about Stranger Things 5. Kendall and I talked about the release schedule, um, which was very interesting how they did it. And it totally worked. At least I observed that it worked in my family exactly how they hoped it would. But did you watch any fun? Do you have any fun? I want to watch this over the break or beyond just we've talked holiday movies and holiday adjacent movies to death. But were there any other fun?
Hold up. What do you mean by
things?
as somebody who's not watched a minute of Stranger Things, what do you mean by the release schedule worked for your family?
Okay, so Sherry picked up on this before the episodes dropped. The Stranger Things season 5 was going to drop in 3 volumes. One batch on Thanksgiving Day, one batch on Christmas Day, or like Christmas Eve, and then the final finale, not a batch, just the finality, the 2-hour series finale on New Year's Eve. And so it was like the epitome of playing into appointment television and water cooler conversation, only it was you're getting everybody around the Thanksgiving table, the Christmas gathering, and New Year's talking about, did you see what happened for season 5, which was the final season. So it was just really fun how they did it.
Got it. Okay, I do want you to talk about Stranger Things. Do you want to keep going, or do you want me?
No. There's not much. There's really not much more than that. Because there's not much I can say without spoiling it. Because I don't think that everybody did that in the busyness of the holidays. So I don't want to spoil anything. I will just say it was fun. I think it delivered. The finale was everything fans. Everything resolved nicely. That doesn't mean there wasn't loss, because there was a lot of rumors that like 5 main characters are going to die. I'm not going to say if they did or didn't, but it just they managed to tie a nice little bow around it. And just for me as a fan of storytelling, I like a good epilogue. Like, give me the whole 2 years later, 18 months later, 5 years later. Show me how everybody's doing after the events of how you wrapped it up, and they did that. So it just felt like, and there were some hard things to watch, but it was like, I didn't want it to go that way, but I don't know how else they would have done it, type thing. So it was like, this kind of had to happen in order for everybody else to go their way. So yeah, it was really nice. Did you guys watch anything fun?
And by the way, that was the series finale or the season finale?
Series, it's done.
It's done.
Series.
There's going to be a spinoff. There is going to be a spinoff in a year or two. That I've heard 2 things. I've heard it's live action, and I've heard it's animated. So I don't know for sure. But there is going to be a spinoff that takes place between some of the earlier seasons.
Do you think that, like, I'm trying to ask stuff that's not spoilery. Game of Thrones was an interesting show to me in the sense that because of the poorer reception of the final couple seasons, it like fell out of the pop culture zeitgeist almost immediately. People talked about it a lot for a long time,
and then it was gone.
Just dissipated entirely. Do you feel like Stranger Things will do that? Did it feel like a satisfying enough end? Does it feel rewatchable? Will people want to still stream it again and again in 10 years, or does it feel like a pretty nice, there's a bow on it, it's not a rewatchable series, it was great while it lasted, it's over, we move on?
Oh,
that's
like
interesting.
Even like by and large, whoever has watched it, and it's going to drop out of pop culture now, and nobody's going to. I think about Walking Dead, and that like most people that I know of didn't finish Walking Dead. They were into it for like 3-4 years, and then Walking Dead kept happening, but nobody was watching it anymore.
I'm a perfect example of that. I was all about it for 6 seasons, and then I was just like, my gosh, there wasn't enough change. Anyway, we don't have to get into it. I never finished it. I don't know that I agree with the 2 ends of the spectrum you just presented, because because to me, where it's different than the dragon one, that Game of Thrones like fell out of favor. Like the writing was problematic. People were getting angry, and like it was falling out of favor for fans. Stranger Things fans will say that in end of season 3, season 4, it was like, all right, they need to. Harsh critics would say that it was getting a little repetitive, but we're also talking, Game of Thrones went into season 8. Is that right?
Yeah, 7, 8.
A really bad ending. I think a bow was tied, but not in a way that was like, I never need to see it again. I think that this will be something that people share with their friends and family and go, here's a great 5-season thing that you could watch if you're into like geek culture and retro 80s kind of vibes, like with some monsters thrown in. Like, I see people rewatching it, but I also see people sharing it for years to come. And it resolved in a way that left people happy. and so it didn't fall out of favor like Game of Thrones did. But a bow was tied not in and therefore I never need to watch it again. Rather in like this would be something I would gladly sit down with a friend and watch through again.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that I was trying to make a parallel between the endings, but I like your point about the like need enough bow that it feels comfortable watching it again. Not that you're going to put yourself through another bad ending. Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. It feels like there's a part of me that wonders if it lingers for a while, then maybe I'll watch it. But if it feels like it totally drops off, maybe I've missed the boat. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's
It's
fair.
like I feel like I missed some really big shows like Breaking Bad and Mad Men and stuff like that. That like nobody's watching. Nobody's really talking about them or watching anymore. It doesn't mean I can't watch it if I want to go enjoy it. I can, but like there's not going to be like the water cooler talk, so to speak, of like, hey, finally watched it. Oh, people like, okay, great.
Well, even in how they wrapped it up, like as two, like take any two characters in the show that have their own dynamic. And I'm not even necessarily saying like romantic relationships, like friendships between any two popular characters in the show. As things were winding down, they were doing mini montages of those two characters through the 5 seasons. Because the thing that's interesting about Stranger Things is there were a lot of years between seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids were very young when they started, and they're like late teens, early 20s, some of them now, playing high school characters. So even though it was only 5 seasons, there were a lot of years between because there were COVID years in there and blah blah blah. So like you saw these kids when they were little, and now you're seeing them as young adults, and so they would do these really sweet montages set to music of like those two characters, and you're like, oh yes, like. So I think even just watching the finale and the whole series, the last season, the 5th season, there was a lot of that it was already playing on some of the nostalgia of itself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah. Did you guys watch anything fun?
I'll go ahead and go and say essentially outside of Christmas movies, which we did watch over the course of the past couple of weeks. No, and then sports. The NFL finished in some very fun fashions. There was some wildness going on in a couple of games, which is really cool. And now the coaching carousel has started, and that's always fun. Black Monday, as they call it. You just see like 7 teams fire coaches, and that has happened. And you had a couple of games that were in the very last week that were not only teams playing to get into the playoffs, but you had a couple of games where it was, and the AFC and the NFC each had one where it was winner goes to the playoffs, loser stays home or cleans out their lockers. And so that was fun to watch. Steelers and Ravens especially was a really, for my liking, didn't go the way I wanted, but it was a heartbreaking loss for the Ravens because it was a simple field goal with no wind that got missed in the final seconds, and the Steelers win. But man, sports, college football is still college footballing, and hockey is doing well. The Detroit Pistons, which we never talk basketball because I'm a Pistons fan and there's no reason for me to talk basketball. All of a sudden, the Pistons are having a good year.
Yeah.
I don't even know how or why that is happening, but it is. I'm excited about that. The Red Wings are having a good year. They've been on the uptick. They've been slowly getting better over the course of the past decade. And man, things are looking up in the pro sports world at the moment for me. Dylan,
that's awesome.
To you, buddy.
Lots of sports goings on, and we're going to see the Columbus Aviators for some.
We are
UFL football this spring, which is exciting. Although somebody said, why didn't they call me Ohio Aviators instead of Columbus specifically? Because Dayton connection to they could have just used Ohio.
Really good point.
Yeah. It's not like they'll probably ever have so many teams. They're going to have another Ohio team. So they probably could have just said Ohio Aviators. But
Fair.
anyways, so I am excited for that upcoming. So I watched a handful of things, not Christmas, traditional Christmas movies that we've talked about. All things that I think were new in 2025. And I feel like the sweeping response for all of these are if you've seen these on streaming services and were curious if you'd like them, or hadn't heard of them but think they might be interesting, all four of these things that I've watched in the last week are like would fall under the this is nice. Uh if you go read the synopsis or watch the trailer and it looks interesting, watch it. If it doesn't, it was fine. Don't go out of your way unless the trailer or synopsis or the actors are particularly interesting to you. So, but if you do watch any of them because it seems interesting, you'll probably have a nice time. And so, the one that I probably enjoyed the most, that will be the least relatable to people, is the documentary "Not Just a Goof" on Disney Plus, which was about the making of a Goofy movie, the what I would call now cult classic Disney film, a Goofy movie. And that was a lot of fun. I found myself laughing out loud, and it was not the most well done documentary, but I enjoyed it because of how much I enjoyed the movie growing up. And it was interesting to hear about the guy who was able to be the director of the movie, who had never directed a movie before, um, him sort of shaping, I guess, something I hadn't realized about the movie. Goofy had never been a character who had been really humanized before, in the sense he had always been a very slapsticky, here's a short film with Goofy. He's going to do a silly, overly cartoonish thing. There's no real depth to the character. And so to make a character not only play into the dad thing, but also have really sad moments or really sweet moments and heartfelt and not always just, shticky. And the director had had an experience where his dad had left when he was young and came back. So he's like trying to create this story about the father-son relationship, having lost his dad for, I think he says 25 years or something, and then came back into his life. It was really sweet. And then some of just the little tips and tricks and things that they did putting the movie together was really interesting. So not just a goof on Disney Plus if you like the movie, a Goofy movie. And then the grown-up live action stuff for all the other people. I think everything again was 2025. So if you're looking for new movies, we watched Regretting You on Paramount Plus. I would call this a drama that has some sweet moments, but I know a lot of people right now are into like, McKenna Grace is in it, Dave Franco's in it, Allison Williams is in it. So go check out that trailer. It's mother-daughter must grapple with what's left after a devastating accident reveals shocking betrayal and some family secrets. So that one was interesting. Goodbye June on Netflix. Directors Kate Winslet, Helen Mirren was in it, and who doesn't look like Helen Mirren. And it was also really like a drama that had some sweet moments. I would say it's Christmas adjacent, but not on your typical list. That one was pretty enjoyable. A group of fractured siblings who must come together under sudden and trying circumstances with their mother's illness. And then The Best You Can, which featured Kevin Bacon and his wife Kira Sedgwick, also Judd Hirsch, follows a security guard and the resident of a home in which he is securing, and their friendship that comes out of that. Also nice. So none of those movies are things that like go out of your way to watch, but if you go watch a trailer and like it, perfectly nice movie to watch. So I don't know how they all worked out that way, that it was just a bunch of like you'd watch it and go, that was nice. And then we'd do another one a few days later. It's like that was nice too.
Dylan's like, I'm up for like a mediocre viewing season.
Yeah, that's just kind of what happened. But sometimes those movies just get buried, and then you're like, I should have watched. And it's nothing that anyone's going to write home about, but you're like, yeah, I'm glad I watched it. It was, I would say, of those three serious movies, I would say Goodbye June was probably my favorite of the
Okay.
the three live action. That one's on Netflix.
Well,
So
speaking of Disney Plus, I've got a reco for Kendall specifically because Kendall, I know you appreciate the artistry of Taylor Swift.
Mhm.
You might not be a Swiftie, but you recognize her cultural impact. Um, the on Disney Plus, the End of an Era is a 6-part docu-series that's been dropping in 2-episode chunks, telling the story of that tour.
Mhm.
Um, I've been like blown away at the sheer logistics involved, the choreography, the fashion, the AV stuff that they did. Like, there's so many really good stories. They'll zoom in on like one dancer and his or her story, and then they like show Taylor's humanity and how she knows every dancer, every band member by name. She like hand painted a guitar for one of her band members' daughter's birthdays. Like
Wow.
just very, and then they kind of go into her and Travis's relationship a little bit. There was a terrorist attack at like a dance school in England, and that impact that had on her, but how she still feels the need to go like show up for her fans. She even had agreed to meet the families of the victims of these little kids that were slain at a dance school just dancing to Taylor Swift songs. And as she's talking about it, it was the day that she had to go visit with these families or agreed to go visit with these families. And she's like sobbing, telling the story. And then she's like, but I'm going to put on a brave face for them. So I have to get it all out now. And you're just like, it's just, I've been off and on with my like, what I think of Taylor Swift through her career. But I have for sure recognized like the impact that she's had on culture, and I really appreciate her songwriting. And is she the best singer or dancer out there? Probably not, but just who she is and the ways that fans rally around her. It's been really fun to watch. So finished 4 of those episodes. I'm going to watch 2 more and then I'm going to wrap it all up. They show the show. So it's a 3-hour show that was the Eras tour with something like 44 songs in the 3 hours, and then you can watch that 3-hour show on Disney Plus as well. So after I finish all 6 episodes, I'm going to watch the concert in the basement, and Chloe, my middle, comes down and she's like, Dad, why are you watching Taylor Swift? And I'm
Yeah,
like, she's an artist, don't
she
you
is.
understand?
I make
I respect the craft.
my daughter is a Swiftie, and I mean she's a bracelet making maniac, but and so I make fun and I tease and everything,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like, if you appreciate good lyric writing, I mean there's some stuff that's obviously not meant to be deep or taken too seriously or whatnot that she does write, right? Just kind of
Right.
like poppy stuff, um but like the Fate of Ophelia on her new album, like that was the first song that I heard from the new album, and then I like went back and listened to it like 4 times because I'm like listening to this album, or listening to this song, and just each time I'm like picking up a different thing. And like there's obviously history and well, Shakespearean history and things like that going on within those lyrics that like the passerby isn't going to catch. And it's a really great song that like wonderful lyrics with all kinds of little nerdy Easter eggs to find in it. That I like and appreciate. I did tell my daughter that she wants to have there's one in particular girl that she wants to have a sleepover with, because they talked about doing it at school, and they're both Taylor Swift fans. And so like I was trying to cheer her up one day, and which worked. Because I go into cringe dad mode, and the kids like can't help it like but laugh, yell at me while I'm doing it. And so like I told her that like, you should have, when you have her over, tell her that Taylor Swift is going to be there. And it might take me a few weeks, but I'm going to grow out my hair and I'll shave off the beard, and I'm going to dress up. I'm going to get like the bedazzled leotard, and I'm going to be Taylor Swift, and I'll perform a song for you guys. Like, I already know how to play the guitar. I can.
So
So
that's awesome.
Look, I don't know how to explain why she's a $1 billion plus artist. Her music is perfectly fine. I enjoy it. I still think of Shake It Off as a very catchy song, and it's nice to listen to. I don't know. I don't understand the $1 billion, but I'm nobody, and it doesn't matter if I understand it. But what I have heard is she frequently donates on tour to food banks in every city where she's touring. She's given huge bonuses to like the staff and the drivers and the crew and the staff and stuff like that. And so I can appreciate that. I can appreciate somebody who um, maybe it's she cares in a calculated way, or maybe she just cares. I'll never know her intentions, but I can appreciate that she does that. So
There was a story that came out after Christmas to that point, Dylan. The Chiefs game was on Christmas Day, and in the box that she was in, all of the facilities staff, the catering staff that cared for the suite she was in, which I'm sure was with Travis's family and stuff, she gave each of them $600 tips for working on Christmas Day. And you hear story after story after story after story like that of stuff that she does, and you're just like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Yep. Can't fault her for that. So, I feel like some people are unnecessarily, attract an unnecessary amount of love or hate. And that feels true for her. Like, she feels totally like the kind of person, if you like it, awesome, go buy her 14 different album variations. And if you don't, just don't turn it on. But she doesn't seem like somebody who deserves any sort of really negative hate, whatever. It's, I feel like people should be just kind of neutral towards her at worst, if they're not a fan. So keep doing your thing, Tay Tay.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. And then it's been fun to catch up on my podcasts, Bad Friends, congratulations with Crystalia, as well as Tiger Belly. I had built up like a to watch list on YouTube, which is coming in really handy, and that's fun. And then Case and I I got out some of my dry erase paper and we made a Case and Dad to watch list, movies and TV shows. And it's been fun now sharing some of the movies from my childhood with him. We started with Harlan Williams and Rocket Man, which he loved. I told you guys he's never laughed harder than when I showed him Ace Ventura 2. So I was like, I need to do more of this. He's at the perfect age. He just turned 11. Like, this is great. I can start showing him some of these like slightly more than PG into PG-13 movies. But he's digging the monster movies right now. So we watched Pacific Rim. We watched a Godzilla movie. Like, he's liking the big kaiju smash up a city movies right now. So that's been fun to watch through. And we have the perfect person, my friend Greg, who's one of the biggest Godzilla fans ever, to make recommendations on how to watch through those. So that's been fun. But yeah, it's been a good break of catching up, doing some reading as well, and listening to new music, and trying to just do more than just sit and watch things and play Minecraft with my friend Brad, who creates a realm every winter so that we can both play from our homes in one shared world in Minecraft to fight off seasonal depression. And it's really fun. So
I was going to follow up on the monster movie thing, by the way. Didn't they make a live action Rampage? That might be like cheesy enough if you haven't watched it that you could watch that with them.
Is The Rock in that? Why do I feel like The Rock is in that?
I feel like The Rock is. Well, he's in everything.
There's a 1 in 4 chance that he's in it.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, The Rock. Yeah, that's awesome.
You should rent that one. It's probably cheap to rent or on a streaming platform.
But it was way better on the Sega.
That's true.
That's fun. Well, anything else, boys? It's been really fun catching up with you and talking about the holidays and kicking off 26. Is there anything else we should mention before we let the Middlers go?
You mentioned new music, and the country-ish star that you and I share in common, and Hardy. He doesn't have anything new that I'm aware of. There might be something out. It's due. I feel like he's gone back on his leaned back into writing for other people, I think is what's going on there. But I want to say just that I appreciate it. I should have thrown this in because it was a big deal to me because it was really cool. I feel like the New Year's Rockin' Eve show has kind of jumped the shark for me. It's just the guests and the music and things that are on there. But now I forget what network, a competing network, does a Nashville one now, which I learned about like last year, the year before. And they do cut to New York for midnight, so you don't have to switch channels or anything. And Hardy was one of the hosts. And
that's cool.
I really enjoyed that. So you can't see it again until next year. But if you're like me and Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve doesn't have the same nostalgia and things that it used to, you can switch on over to a different broadcast that is out of Nashville. And in my opinion, like flowed much better, was much cooler.
All right, so put that on the back burner for next year, Midlers.
Yeah.
And when you talk about Dick Clark's New Year's Rocky Eve, you mean the Ryan Seacrest, like that like main version? Yeah, we flipped to some of that, and I was like, why is Sierra on here with Russell Wilson? Like they're standing up there all awkward on the stage, and even Ryan, when the balls drops, is like, all righty, here it comes.
The party in Nashville is so much better.
It just felt.
Let me ask you about the New Year's Eve thing, because this bothered me, and I was trying to figure out why. Is it the aesthetics of the color? I feel like I'm looking at them on a bouncy house, and everything is like bubbly and cheap colors, and it's something about it doesn't feel classy. It feels cheap to me, and I can't. It feels like it shouldn't be the people in theory, but it feels like it's the ambiance of the thing that's turning me off.
It does. I think for me, I don't know about like the visual if they're using some kind of filter or anything like that mechanically, but I do think that it watches more like a TMZ special than it does like anything classic. And maybe I'm just of the age now where like the TMZ is what's classic now, and that's the style that we're going after. But it's like the people that they have on and the things that they talk about, and they're like, let's flash back to these memes over the course of the year. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Maybe that's it. It's like I feel like I'm looking at the cover of Now That's What I Call Music 47.
Yes.
And not like a classy Dick Clark New Year's Eve. It's a cheap pop culture splattering of color. I don't know what
it's like a remember the 90s, but it's like remember the 2025. Episode, like is what it feels like to me, which I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Well, according to Billboard, they're on a 4-year high. So
I am not their target audience then.
That's what I kind of figured, is that I'm just not, I've outaged the thinking that that's fun anymore.
Yeah. 19.5 million viewers. That's up from 17.9 last year. It's still the top, but yeah, it feels just like it's in desperate need of a rebrand. But and to your Nashville's Big Bash drew 5.3 million during the same hour. So yeah, it's still up there, but man, we must not be the target demo. We don't get it anymore.
That's fine. I own it. If I learn I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm just not the right audience for it.
Yeah.
You know what you should own? Really good products made by a local company here in Columbus, Ohio, with all natural ingredients. And that company is for your face, for your hair, and for your beard. And they are called Artius Man. Start your 2026 off right by getting some good quality and good smelling products for your face and body by going to artiusman.com, ARTIUSMAN.com. Fill up your cart with all that Christmas money you got And when you go to the checkout box, in that promo box, use promo code the middle. That's the middle, all caps, no spaces, the middle, and you'll get 25% off your first order if it's your first order. If it's your second or more order, it's still fine. Still use the promo code because we get a little kickback for that, and we would appreciate it. So, yeah, thanks, Artius Man, for your partnership. Thank you, Dylan and Kendall, for sharing your holiday experiences. We're glad that your 2026 is off to a good start, and it's good being back with you, Middlers. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.